Hello,
All right.
joining in here. I'm gonna give a few seconds, let some of our people come on in the virtual room. Huge shout out to all of our friends who are in person with us. Mr. Group, do we got some sounds or air horns or something for them? We just
It's
gonna
because here now I got to do it like this. Bam, 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 for all the people in the ballroom. Bam, bam, bam,
All
bam,
right.
bam, bam. And then this is for Miss Mariah today, because it's her whole birthday week.
All right. Happy birthday week.
okay. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes.
There's your birthday. All
I
week.
appreciate it.
Miss
So,
Mariah, before you start, guess where I'm at?
where are you? Because it looks like a stage or
Yes.
theater, small studio
Yes.
theater.
I am at Griff's Comedy Club that opens on August 3rd. And I came up here to measure some stuff because where my sign's gonna go that says Griff has to go right there behind me. And I was just sitting in here imagining little kids. Today, we're gonna have a visualization. You wouldn't believe this, but since I was a little kid, about 4 or 5, I used to just sit around and pretend. And one day I'm gonna be on stage and I'm gonna be on TV. I'm gonna give my mama a car. I just visualize that every day. And I'm here. And I got a whole comedy club behind me that start August 3rd. I'm trying not to cry because it's a big deal. it's a big deal. But Miss Mariah, go ahead. Tell them what we're going to. We won't be crying today. How about that?
Drop some love in the chat for Mr. Griff. Thank you all so much for being here with us. Okay, huge shout out to everyone tuning in virtually. Maybe put some waves in there for our friends who are also in person. So we have 2 amazing groups who are in the ballroom joining us today. And we couldn't be more excited to have both groups here to just workshop with you today. We got some exciting things. So what I want you to do, as I'm telling you a little bit about the Walker and what we do, let us know if this is your first time joining us, if you're coming back, if you've been here, tell us if we have the pleasure of working with today. Okay? So the Madam Walker Legacy Center is a historic building that we are sitting in right now, located here in Indianapolis. All right. The building was created and named after Madam C.J. Walker, the first self-made woman entrepreneur millionaire. Okay. I know a lot of you have probably heard of her. All right. A lot of her work and efforts have helped to grow the Black community and have contributed to the Black community here in Indianapolis and really all across the world. All right. Our mission at the Walker is to continue her legacy by inspiring, engaging, and empowering individuals like yourself, okay, in this culturally diverse community. No matter where you live, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so happy you are here. We cannot wait to jump into today's workshop. And without further ado, you've already heard from him a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to my co-camp counselor, Mr. Bird.
Miss Mariah, I want to throw water. I wish I could throw water, but I would mess my whole laptop up and my wife would kill me. So look, you guys, I've been doing comedy today for 28 years, 1 week and 5 days. I am a father of 5. I'm with a blended family. We never say step kids because it ain't no step parenting going on. And you can hear me every day, Monday through Friday on Indy's The Light, AM 1310 on Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell. So blessed to be here today. Again, I'm broadcasting live from my own comedy club, Griff's Comedy Club. You can pull that up on Instagram. Go follow me at Griff's Comedy Club. So excited. And the color I am choosing today is velvet red. See that velvet red curtain? Because I'm going to tell you why. Because when I was a kid, I would watch the Muppet Show, and the Muppet Show had human beings on it. So I would go, I want to be on the Muppet Show. And remember the two old dudes? Remember Fozzie Bear was a comedian and he wasn't that funny. And remember, he would come out and tell jokes and go, waka, waka, waka. And them two old dudes would go, hey, Fozzie, those aren't jokes. And Fozzie would get all low self-esteem and go, hey, guys, I'm just trying to do my act, man. And I was a kid going, let me go on there. Let me talk about them two old dudes. Y'all about to die now. But I'm feeling red velvet. How are y'all feeling? Thank you, Star, for liking my hat. What color you feeling today, Miss Mariah, birthday week?
I'm feeling like a soft pink today.
Ooh.
Yes.
Just gentle. You feeling gentle?
I am. A spirit.
Mr. Jeff, what
Yeah.
color you feeling today, sir?
I'm gonna go blue. I mean like a bright blue, not like a dark blue, feeling blue, but a bright blue. Just great, feeling good to be here today, and just looking forward to the chance to talk to all the panelists and the attendees. So yeah.
Hey, Mr. Jeff, can you pass that mic around the room so we can hear what color some of the kids is feeling?
All right, I can do that.
We got rainbow and pink in the chat. I love rainbow. Listen, when you like rainbow, that's all the colors, number one.
I'm feeling red.
Let's go, red.
You got a red. Anybody else got a color they feeling? Okay.
You want to go? Yellow.
Yellow. All right.
Yellow.
Great
Feeling
color.
Black.
All right.
Black.
Black goes
Always
with
feel
everything.
black.
Okay.
Yeah, I always feel black. I ain't gonna lie.
Blue.
Blue. All right. Another blue.
Got
Anybody?
another blue.
Hands. All right. What's that?
Orange.
Orange. Okay.
Orange. I love orange.
Nice.
All right.
Orange.
Another orange. All right.
Couple oranges. Let's go orange. Can we get
Okay.
one more orange? Okay.
Orange is really the best color.
Did I get everybody? Anybody else got a color they want to share? All right.
We got some green and pink and yellows and reds. We
I'm
got
feeling
some
yellow.
baby pinks. Oh, a yellow with a deep voice.
Another
Let's
yellow.
go deep
All right.
voice yellow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got some turquoises, some indigos. Let's go. Somebody said they feeling red because they sprained their ankle. Oh no. Oh no. We pray that gets better. Yeah, shout out to the Broadway Rovers and Faber Card at the Glick Center who are at the Walker Building right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I would just like to go over the rules. Sanai is feeling green. You see all the R's, that's how you got to read it. Green. We like that, Sanai. I'm gonna go over the rules. And here's what's special. Not only do our young campers online get to see Mr. Jeff today, but we have some students, some campers actually at the Madam Walker Legacy Center. So how exciting is that? So let's just go over the rules. We're going to go over the rules for online and present. Genesis from Massachusetts, maybe Vermont now, I can't remember, it says number one, pay attention. You got to pay attention. You never know what's going to happen. You never know. You must, hey. You got to pay attention. Rule number two.
Who knows it?
Is, well, we got two things. Ask questions, period. For the people online, ask questions in the chat. For the people who are actually at the Madam Walker Legacy Center, just raise your hand and ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Chances are somebody else was going to ask the same question, so you just came and helped them. Number three, you are right, Sanai and SJ. Come prepared. You don't want to be this person. Hey, I thought you said, I don't have mine. So number one, pay attention. Number two, ask questions in the chat and in person. And number three, don't be that guy. And the fourth one, thank you. Be respectful, and we also added and positive. Miss Mariah, your turn.
Yes, yes, yes. So, for those of you who are just joining us this year, this is our fourth annual Madam Walker Summer Institute. We do this every summer, right? And this summer we are here every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So, catch us this week, catch us next week. Next week will be our last week, okay? And each week we focus on something different. All right, so last week we focused on social justice and the arts. This week, we are focusing on financial management, philanthropy, entrepreneurship. And I know there are a ton of young and emerging entrepreneurs sitting in the room here today and online. I know you guys got bright ideas. Some of you want to be designers. Some of you want to have your own businesses, your own shop. Gamers. There's so many entrepreneurs all around us, right? So we're going to be learning about that today and tomorrow. And next week, we'll get into science and technology. All right. Now, take what you are learning today and post it on TikTok, Instagram, hop on social media, tag us in it because we want to see your work. All right. We're also giving prizes towards the end of this. So you got to stay tuned to figure out how you can win a prize at the last session we have. All right. Huge shout out to all of the people who've been a part of this process, and especially to 100 Black men who will be presenting today. Okay. I'm going to pass it back to you, Mr. Griff, to bring on our special guest.
Absolutely. Let's talk about it. So I'm no stranger to this man right here. He actually came and blessed us some years back. I'm glad he is back right now, right here to kick off today's event. For the people online, we clap and show love by just pressing whatever in the text message box. But for y'all there, y'all can clap. This is the facilitator of the day from 100 Black Men in Indianapolis, a youth development organization that was founded in 1984 and serves several hundred Indianapolis youth each year through mentoring-based educational programs. Mr. Jeff, take it away. Pew, 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 pew.
How's everybody? How's everybody today? So, all right. Glad to be here. Thanks for the welcome. So, do you want me to go ahead and kick in today?
It's all on you. Kick it
off.
off.
Oh, absolutely.
Jeff, let's go.
All right. So, go ahead and share the slide. I just got a couple slides to talk about, but as Mr. Griff said, my name is Mr. Jeff, but it's Jeffrey Woodard. I happen to be chair of the 100 Black Men of Indianapolis's financial literacy program. So definitely excited to have the chance to be with you all today, both online and also with all of you all in person. So definitely excited about that. So just always a great chance, and look forward to the opportunity to talk to young people about the ways in which they can learn about personal finance, and also more importantly, toward that end is how they can take advantage of their youth to build generational wealth. So this afternoon, what we're really going to get into is just kind of an introduction to one of the key components of personal finance and financial literacy, and that's budgeting. So anyone, I mean, at least for those of you who are in person, show of hands, anybody ever heard of a budget?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. A few hands raised in the audience. Excellent. So hit me up with a slide, please. So, all right. Excellent. So in terms of the easy definition, and when you talk about budgeting, or if somebody mentions budgeting to you, it's what is that? Really, it's just a fancy word to say making plans with your money. Sometimes you might hear the term spending plans. That's actually my personal favorite, because it's probably, I consider that a little bit more clear about what it really is about. It's about planning how you're going to spend your money and how you're not going to spend your money. So in terms of the other way I like to look at it is, a simple way to think about it is, you want to give every one of your dollars a job, a clear, defined job. So And like we said earlier, I mean, if you do happen to have a question, there's going to be Q&A at the end in a few more minutes. But I like to keep things interactive. I want you to stay awake, and I want to keep awake. So if you do have any questions, raise your hand. You know, if something jumps in your head right now, let's get those questions out. So in terms, did we get one? Are we going online? Okay, but in terms of why budget, it's simple. I mean, you want to have control over your money. So and in terms of of course, the big thing is just in terms of real life is making sure that your money, at least I don't know about you, and Mr. Griff might be different because he's got his own comedy club, but some people have unlimited or what seems like unlimited money, but most of us, we don't. So you really do want to make sure you are planning ahead and trying to allocate what you're going to spend your money on that, what's most important and what you most need to do that. So give me another slide. In terms of, I'm gonna keep it really simple. I'm not gonna try to make it fancy, because really, in terms of creating a budget, it is pretty simple. I mean, it's just a couple steps. So the big first and foremost is step one is you got to determine where the money's coming from. So you got, I mean, in terms of if you've got income, you want to figure out and what that income is, and and actually make a note of that. So I mean, for any of us, I know we all have, or most of us probably have a smartphone on them right now. I mean, there are a ton of budgeting apps out there, finance apps, but let me tell you, especially if you're just starting to do it, keep it simple. I mean, in fact, just pen and paper. I think, because to me, it's in terms of, don't get caught up in what's the right tool to use or what's the right app to use. It's just, again, you're starting it out. So just like if you're just starting to exercise, you're not going to go out and buy and build a gym. You're just going to work out first. So, so write down on a piece of paper, if you got, like, say you get you do some chores around the house, you make some money from that. If you know that that's going to be coming in this coming week, write that down. The second thing is to identify what you have in the way of expenses. I mean, in terms of, if you know up front, say like today is Wednesday rather, and if you know, like, okay, this coming Friday or something like that you're going to be doing something that you really want to do or that you really need to do, and it's going to cost you money, then that's something you already know in advance you need to plan for, right? Right. So those are the kind of things you want to identify, write down, and figure out what that's going to cost up front too.
So basically, Mr. Jeff, if you wanted a PlayStation 5, you would have to figure out, okay, this thing costs $450. Where I'm gonna get that $450? If I say $45 for 10 months or $100 for 3.5 months, like that, correct? Correct.
And that's what we get into in terms of, like, with step 4. I mean, in terms of, well, step 3 is, would you define that PlayStation as, is that a need or is that a want? In terms of, when you say needs and want, need is like, you absolutely got to have. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. So for example, you need food and clothing and shelter.
Need a bed.
So
I ain't gonna lie, Mr. Jeff, I actually needed my PlayStation 5.
Well, and that's the thing. That's what makes it personal. Personal finance is what's personal to you. So,
exactly.
So for me, I mean, a PlayStation 5 I definitely wouldn't categorize it as a need.
Right.
And for me personally, it probably wouldn't be a want, but that's me. But
right.
But let's say, for example, I mean, who in here? I mean, again, I'm taking advantage of you all, the people in person. Who would consider a PlayStation 5 a need? Okay, got a couple hands. So and that's cool. That's cool. It's supposed to matter.
And Mr. Jeff, what if your career was going to be a gamer? So if you was going to start making money online as a gamer, your PlayStation 5 would definitely be a need, correct?
Yeah, correct. I mean, like you say, if you're going to do, like, you plan on getting a career in esports and like you say, being on the pro circuit, Yeah, so you got to train. You need to train. So yeah, that in that case.
Oh, how you look at it, Mr. Jeff? Because I needed my PlayStation 5. That's what I told my wife. I need one.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. So which actually takes us into the wants are those things that okay, like yeah, hey, you don't need it, but it's something you want to do. So versus the needs. So in terms of priority, you got to put those needs ahead of your wants. So the other thing when we jump into step 4 is deciding where what you need to do, what your savings are going to be, and then of course, hopefully, if you have something left over in terms of where you're going to make donations. So as Mr. Griff mentioned earlier in his example, let's say you need or you want that PlayStation and it's going to cost $450. But let's say right now you don't make $450+ a week. So what you're going to do, you're going to need to save up for that. So there's probably going to be some amount of money every week that you want to take and save and for those bigger things or things in the future. Just the other piece is ideally you want to be able to have kind of that emergency fund. I mean, like it'd be nice. Isn't it nice to, if something comes up that you didn't plan for, to say, oh, okay, I got some money already to cover that. That's a great feeling to have versus, I didn't plan for that. And, oh man, where am I going to get the cash for that? So,
Mr. Jeff, I actually needed to get a tire unexpectedly about a week ago. And just like you're saying, it's so important to save and put stuff away so you can just have it when you need it. So luckily I was able to get it fixed immediately, right? But I had to learn how to save. So
yeah, that's a great example because I mean, sometimes, if you spend some more time reading about or finding out about personal finance, you might hear the term emergency fund. What I like to call that, I like to call that just a life fund, because again, life just happens. I mean, things that you didn't plan for. I mean, or say like if you have a car that unplanned, like you have unplanned cost associated with keeping your car running happens. That's just the way life works. So much happens that, granted the things that you can plan for and make, and be ready for when that happens. But there's a ton of stuff that it just comes up, boom, and, and you got to deal with it. So, so that to me is where it comes into identifying, and honestly, I'd almost say step 4 in terms of determining and deciding what you're going to save. That should be right after determining what your income is. Because ideally, I would say as a guideline, if you're just starting out, it's a great idea to try to save at least 10% of what you make off the top. So, I mean, some weeks that may not be possible, but just if you're starting out, the sooner you can get to the point of where you're saving money regularly, the better off you are. Because at some point you're going to need it. So, and then lastly, in terms of how to create, is you got to track where your money's going. Because don't rely on your memory. Don't rely on your best friend to tell you what you spent money on. You need to do that for yourself. So again, to me, the easiest way to do it, if you're just starting out, if you keep a sheet of paper or just write it down, or if you got a smartphone and you got a notes app, just create a note about what your spending is for the week and where your money's going. So anytime you end up spending some money on something, make a note of that. Keep that, and then at the end of the week, you go through and total everything up.
Be mad at yourself because you see Cheetos and M&Ms and random money and soda, and then let me tell y'all something. When you start writing down exactly what you spend all week, Sunday to Sunday, it'll creep you out because you're gonna oh man, I ain't need that. I could have. So do that for 1 week and watch.
Yeah, to me, I think that's huge because it's just human nature. Again, I'm as guilty of that as the next person that, just in the course of today, I might like after I leave here, I might decide, hey, maybe I just grab me a quick hamburger or something for a late lunch. And, you know, I'm thinking, okay, I'm only going to spend $3 or $4 on that. But, you know, that receipt, when you actually look at it and write it down, it might be like, because you ended up getting you some extra fries and, well, let me get a milkshake because, you know, I gave that presentation, so I earned it, so I can get me a nice big milkshake too. And the next thing you know, it's like when you look at the end of the week, like Mr. Griff said, it's like, man, why did that, where did that go? You know, you don't even remember a meal that you might have spent $10, $15 on. So, and that to me, again, I think that ties into what the exercise is for this week for everyone, correct? Is that we want you to actually, as I believe, is to create your own budget and write it down and then keep track of it. And then I think, is it next week that they have to turn that in, Griff?
I believe it's one of these. We did this last time. Hold on, I'm waiting to get the answer in the chat.
Okay.
But yeah. Yes, they showing. Yes, they just told me yes.
Okay,
So
excellent.
they'll turn that in next week. Yep.
All right, good, good. So in terms of, I did have a couple other slides just talking about financial literacy at a bigger piece. And I think, I don't know in terms of how we are for time, if I got time, but the other piece of that is, I mean, budgeting is kind of one piece of it, but I think the biggest thing to me is in terms of if you don't budget, chances are you don't save. And if you don't save, then you don't have money to invest. And it's only when you have money invested, whether it's in the stock market, whether it's in a business, or whether it's in, you know, anything, long term, that's how your money grows. You got to have your money actually working for you. So the other thing is, in terms of when it comes to being financially literate, it's really just about making sure that you understand how money works, and then also understanding how you personally think about money and your relationship to money. So, and then lastly is to remember that it's not like again, it's like literacy. It's like reading. I mean, you read for life. You learn to read, but then you read to learn things for the rest of your life. And that's good to me to think about personal finance in that same way. It's a lifelong journey. I mean, you first, you know, when you're younger and you're just starting out and you say you're getting that first job, and just how you deal with money from that point forward to when, you know, after you're done with all your education and you're out, you know, as an adult and working, again, what's your relationship to money? What are you doing with it? And ideally, are you making wise choices that lead to better outcomes in your future? So another slide, please. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but to me, it really, when we, you know, people talk about, you know, building wealth, it's incredibly simple. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but it really comes down to being very simple. It's about being able to save more than you spend, and you're doing that consistently, and you're doing it over a long period of time. Think years. In fact, I mean, you guys, I'm guessing people, you know, at least the people sitting down, you're probably what, maybe in your teens? Yeah. So you got a lot of life ahead of you. So if you're starting to think in your teens about saving and investing, I mean, like 20, 30 years, you're still young people, but you're starting to build up wealth that way, because that's just how it happens. It's like when you have money saved and then you have savings beyond what you need to spend, that's when you learn to invest. And when I say invest, I mean, it's investing in areas where you have an advantage. And as an individual and a young individual, the biggest advantage you have is time. So being able to take advantage of time and take advantage of your youth, and by putting money aside, learning how to invest, and being able to leave that money invested for years upon years, or learning about how to invest your money in a business, and again, that business grows and makes more money. So over years, you build wealth.
But you want, when you talk about so none of the kids get or check out on you,
Yeah.
know, when you say you can invest in small things and the things you like. If you're a little girl, Barbie got stock, believe that. once you
absolutely.
once you learn, if you like video games, GameStop got a nice stock. Like, it's so once you start learning more about investing, but then, like, for example, I'm here at this club and I have to invest in myself. So I had some money saved, and it's not just get the club. We also had a marketing. We also have the rollout of it's a lot of things involved. So like he said, and like Miss Mariah said, you just want to have enough saved so you don't be like, it costs that much, man, and then it's this much more money and I ain't got. So the best thing that nobody told me to save money as a kid, or I'd have been a little hoarder. I wish somebody would have told me, because let me tell you what ain't fun. Being a broke adult.
There you go. That's it.
Being a broke kid, you can get away with it because your parents have some money, but being a broke adult is the pits.
It is not, that ain't fun. Full
Jeff,
stop. That ain't fun at all. So
Mr. Jeff, could you give everyone an example of what it means to save more than you spent? What is that? What is that?
That's easy. I mean, to me, that's my, I jokingly tell, or sometimes tell people, I mean, to me, in terms of, well, I'll use example. I mean, when, if somebody is, considering a spouse, that, the kind of deal breakers is they need to know how to count and they need to know how to tell time. And when it comes to counting, it's about being able to know how much you got. So if you got $100 in your pocket, you don't go and spend 120. So that's, to me, is what it means to count.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And,
So,
and you know what else, Mr. Jeff? If you start carrying cash, I know we have some money people on our show. We do a segment called Money Mondays on Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell. Mm-hmm. And one of the things the guy's been telling us lately is keep you some cash on you. Watch when that 100 turn into 86. Watch when that 80 something turn to 50. You're gonna be mad, because if you keep swiping and you don't, as long as it get approved, but when you start seeing your money disappear, it make you say, hold up. 1 week, Mr. Jeff, I kept $100 all week, like in my pocket. Like I did not. It's like, oh yeah, I ain't hungry. I don't need it. Miss Mariah, all week I kept my 100. And
that's human nature. That is, that's straight up.
I saw something for $60 and I was like, I got some money on me.
See, I don't know, Mr. Griff. I feel like I'm the opposite. If I have cash, I feel like I gotta spend it, but I don't want to see my account go down. So I'm not trying to.
It just depends how you. Right.
Yeah, because I think most of us, you're right. It's to me, I think human. You just notice it, because again, you use that credit card. In fact, now, I mean, you don't even need to swipe it. You just tap it, and and you're spending money. So versus actually pulling that $20 out of your wallet and handing it over and getting back $2. I mean, you feel that, you notice that. That's just human nature. So yeah, that's been widely proven that most people spend if they're using only cash, they tend to spend less money than they do if they're using a debit card or credit card. So
I get a lot of free stuff, Mr. Jeff. So I'm actually I don't get free stuff. I get random free stuff like shoes and clothes, but ain't nobody giving me no sandwich meat for free. Ain't no milk and eggs. Ain't nobody giving out eggs for free, Mr. Jeff.
Okay. Now, do we have any questions on the chat?
No questions yet, but we do things
go ahead.
For you guys to do. So all of our people who are in person, sitting in the ballroom, and all of our friends who are on virtually, in order to win a chance to win some prizes on our last day, we need you to do one thing, okay? We need you to email us, send us a message of your budget diary, right? So we've talked a little bit about that, what a budget diary is. So you're gonna send us a daily listing of the money you get and the money you spend, okay? So let's say you got $100 today, but you spent 20 of it getting snacks, right? Or let's say you got $300, but you spent 200 getting a new pair of shoes, right? We want you to send us your budget diary, the money you get and the money you spend, and you will automatically be entered to win a prize on our final day, okay? So you're gonna email that to info@madamwalkerlegacycenter.com. We'll drop it in the chat and we'll make sure all of you in person have that info as well.
Excellent, excellent. Everybody, you guys hear that here? So, okay. So is everybody planning on trying to enter to win that prize, win a prize? So again, it's just keeping track of your spending and budgeting diary. So
if there are any questions in person, by all means, Mr. Jeff, you can go ahead and take some questions.
yes,
Go ahead.
Oh, is the email info@madamwalker.com? What was the email address that people should use?
Yep, info@madamwalkerlegacycenter.com. And I just dropped it in the chat as well. So you guys can jot that down. info@madamwalkerlegacycenter.com.
Okay, I wanted to make sure the people who are here in person are able to get that info too, so.
Yep. You do have a quick question in the chat. Star Junior said, do I start budgeting today or this Sunday? Is it a problem to start in the middle of a week or should we start at the beginning of a week?
I'd say if you are so inclined to start today, because again, it's, to me, the important thing is to start. So versus if you say, wait until Sunday and start your budgeting, I think, human nature being what it is, there's a possibility by the time Sunday rolls around, you forget you were supposed to do it versus, if you're thinking about it right now, pull out that sheet of paper, pull up your smartphone and enter in your note about your budgeting note. Go ahead and do that right now. And start, start and develop, try to develop that consistency of doing it. So just get, making that habit of doing it. So yeah, definitely, absolutely start.
Now, Mr. Jeff, do you track every little thing that you spend in a budget diary? If you spend $5 here, $10 there, is it important to track those things too? Or is it only big expenses?
Everything. I mean, especially if you're just starting out, please track everything because again, human nature is and I'm just speaking to myself personally. I don't, my memory is not that great, so it's better to go ahead and capture exactly where all your money is going, because then you can sit back and look at what happened, or it's like, oh, again, if you start today and then say next Wednesday, when you sit down and look at what you spent over the week, you might not even remember a lot of what you entered in. So to me, that's the importance of capturing everything. The other piece is because if you're new to budgeting, then whatever, let's say you did plan on spending or saving 10%, but after your first week, it turned out, well, you only saved 5%. So now you can go back and look at, okay, well, what changes do I need to make? And make new plans. So it's a process. I mean, it's not just like you create a budget and then boom, from that point forward for the rest of your life, that's what you live with. No, you're always trying to go back and look at what's happened in the past, what is going to happen and maybe differently in the future, and make changes.
Okay.
Any other questions or any thoughts? So show of hands, at least with the people in front of me here. Who's thinking about doing a budget?
Oh, I'm
for the
budgeting.
week?
I'm budgeting for the week. See if
I see a couple hands. Oh, I see. Okay. Maybe. All right. Not maybe not, the hands aren't going really high up, but I mean, that's encouraging. I'm encouraged that at least I'm seeing some hands. So, you know.
We've got a question in the chat, Mr. Jeff. Mia and Chloe, they want to know, can I put down in my budget diary what I spent in June, even though it's July?
If you really can remember that, yeah, go ahead. I mean, to me, it's good that if that's things that you can think back to, what you, especially big ticket items that you spent money on, and that if that can help you to plan on how you want to improve going forward, yeah, write down what everything you can capture.
So maybe if you think about what you spent in June and you say, man, by the end of the month, I had $0, had no money at the end of June. Now you can think about how you want to spend your money this month or next month. You
That's
say,
right.
even set a goal. Maybe you say, I want to have $150 by the end of the month. Okay. So now how are you gonna spend your money? How are you gonna save so that you can reach that goal? Okay.
Yeah,
so think about
absolutely.
how you spend your month, guys.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Great advice.
Okay. Any other questions? Drop them in the chat. Our friends in person.
And I definitely can, as far as make sure that the slides that I have today are available to anybody who wants them. So I know, not everybody takes good notes, but definitely let me know. And if you ever have any questions for me personally, I'm at jeffrey.woodard@gmail.com, or you can use a financial literacy at 100blackmenindy.org. So I'm in both of those. So in terms of to answer any email you might have, any questions you might have, or just in terms of finding out more about like the mentoring programs that the 100 does, would love the opportunity to meet with you guys going forward. I mean, like the dollars and cents program, that's kind of like our main program for financial literacy. That's for high school students, 9th through 12th grade, boys and girls. I always make that clear because I think a lot of people assume that because we're 100 Black men, we only mentor young men, but we also have programs that mentor girls as well. So but that program, it meets on Saturday mornings. It's like over the course of 16 weeks, and we do deep dive. We really go into details around all aspects around personal finance, and then we spend about 6 to 8 weeks going into introducing you to how to invest your money long term and understanding the stock market and looking at public companies. So yeah, that's
Mr. Jeff, I got 2 questions.
Yeah.
Number one, how old were you when you was like, when I grow up, I'm gonna just talk about money in front of people at different buildings? And that's my first question. My second question is, why do you say finance instead of finance?
I'm about to kick you out this room.
Well, the first question, to be honest, in terms of actually where I'm going to go around and talk to people about finance or finance, that didn't really hit me until, recently. So, but I think I credit one of my uncles if I remember right, I think it was when I graduated high school or either graduated from college, but he kind of pulled me aside and said, look, what you need, no matter what, you need to start saving at least 10% of what you make gross, and do that, and then learn how to do something with that. So, I mean, I think that was kind of put me on the road to, but I was, again, like I said, by then I'm a young adult, in my early 20s. So, I'd probably already made, I'd already made some probably not smart financial moves. So, and I think when I first got introduced to the 100's financial literacy program, I volunteered, in terms of finding out, and started volunteering with it. And honestly, I mean, once I kind of got into that as a volunteer and just finding out just how it works and just seeing, it's like, man, I wish I had this when I was in high school. I'd have just had a whole different life trajectory. So that's, I mean, for me, that's kind of, it's just has motivated me. So, I mean, because just the importance of knowing how when you're at such an early age, before you really get into where you're making a lot of money, but knowing what you can do with your money, I think it's just so critical. So, and can just make so much of a difference in your life. So, and the finance part, I think that's just, I don't know, man. That's just how I talk sometimes.
Awesome. We love how you talk, Mr. Jeff.
All right.
Mr. Jeff.
Thank you, Griff. Thank you. So, any other questions out? I mean, some other questions out there? Go ahead.
Let me hold $40.
Make it 80 so I can get 40.
Okay, before I answer that, I think a young man in the back here has a question. So what was your question, sir? Okay, all right, that's cool. All right. So let me ask you a question. Are you going to do a budget this week? A budget? No, why not? What? I just told you. Grab your piece of paper, write down what you got some money. If you know you got money coming in, write that down. If you know you got money going out, write that down. Every time you spend money, write that down. How much you did, how much you spent, how much it was, what day it was. How's that? Does that make sense? All right. So now are you gonna do it? All right.
You better finance, little boy. Finance.
So, that's how it starts. That's how it. Seriously. I mean, let me ask another question to everybody in the audience. Okay, show of hands. Who wants to be a millionaire?
You be a millionaire, you're only gonna make 500,000.
Who wants to be a millionaire? Show of hands. Okay. All right. I mean, honestly, that slide I showed you earlier about how to do that, or how to build wealth. Budgeting is like step one. That's kind of how you lay the bricks in the foundation. If you want to have, and when I say be a millionaire, you want to have either cash, real estate, investments that are worth $1 million. And that's worth over what you owe on it. That's what that means when I say be a millionaire. So if you want to do that, you got to make that first step is one, get your budget and get that under control. Get your savings, get that under control, and do that consistently. And then learn to make your money work. Oh, and Griff, I'm sorry, I didn't answer your last question. No, I'm not giving you $40.
Boo!
No, bum.
Boo! Get him off the stage.
Mr. Griff, so maybe.
But I did answer your question, though. I didn't forget about you, right?
You didn't. So we want to thank you, Mr. Jeff. Any closing remarks on finance that you want to give us?
Just like I was mentioning earlier, I mean, definitely take advantage of, if you can take advantage of your youth and start now, please do. And if you don't, or if you're not as young, but it's never too late to start. And as always, like I mentioned, if you ever have any questions for me in the future, definitely we'll make sure you got my contact info. So reach out. I'm always interested in talking to people about personal finance and financial literacy. So thank you all so much for having me. And I hope I didn't put too many of you to sleep today. So
no, you're fine. Genesis in the chat says, thank you so much for teaching me. And I'll tell my mom if she can help me. I took some notes, so I'll think about it, and thank you. And Mia and Chloe said, can I put down in my budget diary what I spent in June, even though it's July? And what else are they saying? Can I start now? When do you start? I would start. I mean, what's the day? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Just, what did you buy in the last couple of days? I know What did I buy yesterday? I bought nothing because I was at home. And then the day before, on Monday, I was at the airport. So I bought some expensive water.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're at the airport, by nature, you probably spent $5 for a bottle of water, right?
$6.75, Mr. Jeff. That's why
Woo.
I need that $40.
Woo!
Mariah said,
How about if I leave this bottle of water for you? How's that?
Same thing. That's the same thing. Okay, so you guys need to join us tomorrow. And the kids that are there, you can also, if you just in case you can't come tomorrow or another day, you can jump on Zoom and do like the other kids that's on here and see Mr. Jeff talk about finance. I feel like I'm saying fun and Nance at the fun Nance. It can be fun. Let me tell you something.
It can be
Whoever
fun.
say saving ain't fun and saving is lame and I don't want to do and money, they broke. That's the bottom line. That's the nicest way to say it. It's because they weren't taught. It's because I didn't learn financial literacy until about 7 years ago. For reals, keep it real with myself. So we just glad that you guys are young enough to maybe get the opportunity. Maybe you ain't gonna invest in a Chick-fil-A this week, but you can start saving though.
Yep. Good stuff. Don't forget, guys, like Mr. Griff said, we are back here tomorrow, and next week is our very last week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
What time?
Okay. At 1 o'clock, 1 to 2, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We do this, okay? And don't forget to finish your homework so that you can win a prize, possibly win a prize on our last day, okay? So email us those budget diaries. Tell us what you're spending and what you're getting, all right?
What's the email?
info@madamwalkerlegacycenter.com.
That's right. And if you want to see a comedy club, Griff's Comedy Club on everything at Griff's Comedy Club. Thank you, Jesus. So I'm going to get off here with y'all and I'm going to cry. I'm going to just sit on the stage and cry.
Oh, all right.
I got a whole lot of stage, Miss Mariah. I'm just sit up.
What city is this in again, Mr. Griff?
We are in Atlanta, Georgia, but we are west of Atlanta. So it's actually in the city of Douglasville, Georgia. I'll show you guys real quick. Look, so that's the stage. And then you go see how everything is brick and the floor is wood. So it's like a proper comedy club. Like it's a real seated chairs.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think, Mr. Jeff? I got $40 on it.
Hey, you probably have to pay $40 to cover charge to get in there, don't you?
Nope, it's just $20, Mr. Jeff, but get out my
wow.
pocket. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for coming today.
All right, that's nice. That's nice.
Can we all give Mr. Jeff a round of applause in studio, online? Y'all know what to do. He was absolutely amazing. Again, let me tell you something.
Drop a grade in the chat.
Now we're gonna do that. I was telling Miss, we'll do the grade tomorrow. We're going to let y'all have a good day today and appreciate y'all for coming on. And again, thank you. And we will see y'all. Big hugs from CJ and Zamaria. What'd you think? CJ and Zamaria? Is that right, CJ? They go all the Tamir, Genesis, Sanai. We appreciate all y'all. Love y'all too. It's Zamaria. Thank you for that.
All right. Thank you.
Zamaria. Right. Thank you, Mr.
Had a great
Jeff.
time.
You take care, Mr. Jeff.
All right, Mr. Griff, you do the same. And next time I get down to Atlanta, I have to come check it out in Douglasville.
Next time you come to Atlanta, have my $40.
Well, all right. That sounds good.
You guys have a good day. Bye,
Miss
Mariah. 2 more days to the birthday. Hey, 2 more days to the birthday. Hey, 2 more days to the birthday. Hey, birthday. Hey, birthday. Hey, 2 more days to the birthday. Hey, 2 more days to the birthday. Hey, Two more days to the birthday. Hey.
It's up and it's stuck. I will see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Bye,
Bye,
Mr. Griff.
y'all.